Okay, so as we see, the data uh, are unorganized and unprocessed facts. Then the information is an aggregation of data that makes decision making earlier. After that, we will see what is the meaning of knowledge. So the knowledge has always been an essential component uh, of all human processes. So our ancestor must have employed an enormous amount of knowledge to form and acts like objects or goals. So from know how to use seeds for planting to the invention of machinery or to travel to the moon, all required an accumulation of spatial knowledge to achieve the task. So when it comes to basics, people use their intelligence and creativity to come up with the valuable added products and services that take on the competition. So the knowledge capital is essential, a reflection of how well an organization leverages the knowledge of its workforce and the needs of its customers, and the knowledge of the suppliers to the ensure value added outcome. So the knowledge capital is the way an organization derives wealth from its information resources on a regular basis. So the knowledge has different meanings, so depending on the discipline where it is used. So uh, So the knowledge is human understanding of a specialized field of interest that has been acquired through study and experience. So it is based on learning, thinking, and familiarly with the problem area in a department or in a division or in the company as a whole. So the focus the focus is on sustainable competitive advantage. The knowledge is not information, and information is not data. So as per the uh, Prusak and Davenport, the knowledge management or the knowledge as a fluid mix of frame experience, values, contextual information, and expert insight that provides a framework for evaluating and incorporating new experiences and information. So knowledge is derived from information in the same way information is derived from data. So it may be viewed as an understanding of information based on its perceived importance or relevance to a problem area. So it can also be thought of as a person's range of information. So embarrassing a wider sphere than information. Knowledge includes perception, skills, training, communication, common sense, and experience. So it is the sum total of our perceptive processes that helps us to draw meaningful conclusions. Okay, so moving to the next part, that is types of knowledge. So knowledge is classified into variety of types. So when considering knowledge management, the knowledge developer should be familiar with each type and know how to tap into it during knowledge capture. Okay. Okay, so we will see the different types of knowledge, that is procedural knowledge, then declarative knowledge, and semantic knowledge, and episodic knowledge. Okay, so it goes from shallow knowledge to deep knowledge. So procedural knowledge is the knowledge of how to do a task that is essentially motor in nature, and the same knowledge is used over and over again. Then the declarative knowledge is surface type information that is available in short term memory, and it easily we can say verbalized. So it used in early stages of knowledge capture, but less so in later stages. Then the semantic knowledge. The semantic knowledge is a hierarchically organized knowledge of concepts, facts, and relationships among facts. And the next one is episodic knowledge. So it is the knowledge that organized by temporal spatial means, and not by concepts of relations, experiential information that is chunked by episodes. And this knowledge is highly complied and autobiographical, and is not easy to extract or captured. So the episodical knowledge is knowledge based on experiential information or episodes. So each episode is chunked in a long-term memory. So in general, the longer a human expert takes to explain or verbalized his or her knowledge, the more semantic or episodic it is. So in contrast, an expert can recall procedural or declarative knowledge in a relatively short time, because it is readily available in short term memory. So an interesting aspect about episodic knowledge is that its use is automated. So, for example, have you ever driven from point A to point B and yet not remembered many details of how you got there? So, this is a common experience, and driving information is so chunked that most people have trouble to remembering and explaining it. So in this process of conveying the expert's knowledge, the expert explains uh, by examples or scenarios. So the special tools and techniques are required for capturing such knowledge. Okay, so explicit and tactic knowledge are also types of the knowledge. So another approach to categories of knowledge is whether the knowledge is tactic or implicit. So tactic knowledge is the knowledge embedded in the human mind through experience and jobs. So it includes intuitions, values, and benefits that stem from years of experience. So it is the knowledge used to create explicit knowledge, and is best communicated personally through dialogue and scenarios. So with the use of metaphors. So therefore knowledge is not private but social. So socially relayed knowledge becomes the part of real life experience of the knower. So, in contrast, explicit knowledge is knowledge which codified and digitalized digitized in books, documents, reports, white papers, spreadsheets, then memos, then training courses, and like. Okay, so the explicit knowledge can be retrieved and transmitted more easily than tactic knowledge. So because it is knowledge learned directly from experience, so the tactic knowledge is difficult to share across a space and time. So the person with the tactic knowledge has no conscious experience of what it is that is causing his or her activity. Okay, so the tactic and explicit knowledge have been expressed in terms of knowledge, how, and knowing that respectively. So they have also been viewed as embodied knowledge and theoretical knowledge respectively. So the knowledge how or embodied knowledge is characteristics of the expert who makes judgment or uh, decisions without explicitly going through a set of rules. So, by contrast, knowing that or a theoretical knowledge is when a person learning a skill uh, articulates available knowledge using explicit uh, instructions, instructions, rules, principles, or procedures. So, on the surface, explicit or documented knowledge is earlier to identify. So, because it is a physical entity that can be measured and distributed, it can be stored as a written procedure or as a process in a computer. So, with that in mind, it is reusable for decision making purposes. So, the understanding what knowledge is makes it early to understand that knowledge hoarding is basic to human nature. Okay, so as longer as job security is based on the spatial knowledge that we have, it continues to be a challenge to support knowledge sharing. So when it comes to building a knowledge management system, the company that assumes if we build they will rush has a surprise coming. So a strong incentive and proper change in the culture of the business are part of the planning that must take place before going knowledge management. Then expert knowledge, another type of knowledge. So most people realize that knowledge cannot be directly observed. So what can be observed is the expertise that relies on or rely on knowledge to produce solutions. So, a person with the expert knowledge can solve a complex problem more quickly and more effectively than someone else can. So, when the experts' advanced skills and years of experience are enhanced by attention of details, then quality results. So expert knowledge is not just a head full of facts or a repository of information from the intellects. It is information owned into the mind of an expert for solving complex problems quickly and accurately. So it takes the case of chess experts. So they not merely recognize thousands of chessboard moves, but they consider them in ways relevant to playing the game. So these are all finally turned to the requirements of the game. So the partners experts learn to recognize are also unique, and the responsibilities they consider all tends to be good ones. So it is obvious that the good problem solving strategy depends on how much you know. Okay.